So we got a new problem. Happens with old houses. We got bats. I just caught this guy in the house. It's a little early for him, so he's gonna stay pretty quiet. But I caught him very gently, so he's fine. I gotta go seal up where they're coming into the house, which is the old chimney, which I thought had been sealed off, but apparently not. And apparently way up on the roof, there must be a way for them to get in. So I gotta take that project on soon, next day or so. So what I'm doing is, this is where there used to be an old fireplace. This mirror has been here since before we actually bought the house. And this is where we saw bats coming out. So, which is interesting because the mirror does fit very close, very tight to the wall. But these are small bats, and apparently they can squeeze through this little tiny space. So, to stop more from getting into the house, I'm just going to tape this up. What I'm going to have to do later is take this mirror off, but I want to make sure I get the bats out of the chimney first. Well, thanks to the cat, I found another one. Well, I thought I found another one. But he's gone somewhere. There he is. He's crawling up the curtain. So, they're not that hard to catch when it's daytime and they're not flying around. These guys are very small. So I'm just going to use a towel. And you got to be very gentle. They're very, very fragile. You don't want to hurt them. I'm going to use a towel. Oh, don't crawl on the white thing. I think he's trying to get on that, which he'll get stuck. There he is. And, you know, I'm just going to scoop him up. If he'll let go. He doesn't want to let go. Okay, and so I've got them in here. I'm gonna just take them outside. It's still, as you can see, it's quite light out. So the ones we find at this time of day, they won't want to move. So see, there he is, and he's fine. You know, and the other guy that I caught, I put him up here so none of the cats could get at him, but he's not moving either because it's still too bright out. They'll leave, you know, they'll both get moving once the sun goes down. So I'm gonna put him up where the cats won't get him as well. All right, the sun's starting to set. I've got my binoculars here, and my plan is to hang out in the screen room and watch the chimney way up there. See if any of them, if I can see how they're coming out. Should be coming out within the next half hour or so. So I'll keep an eye on it. All right, we just got word that they are making noise in the house. You can hear it inside the chimney, and so I'm hoping that they will be coming out of there pretty soon. Whoa! Go! There you go! Got him. He's outside. Yeah? Yep. Just unreal how many mosquitoes are out there. None of them can get in. Hey everyone. Well, as you can see, It is now dark enough out that it's pretty difficult to see all the way up to the chimney, and I did see one bat exit, and he exited out from under the cap. So I don't think there's a hole in the top of the cap. So it looks like they're getting in from around it. And my guess is that in the hurricane we had last year, the one that damaged the roof, it probably lifted that chimney cap up just enough that there's a space. But I'm no chiropterologist, but I believe that if I only saw one bat come out, that combined with the 4 that we caught in the house means we are not dealing with a extensive bat colony in that chimney. So I guess I'll be back tomorrow with the next steps, how we're going to get whatever is in there out and how we're going to prevent them from coming back in. I'll talk to you soon. All right, what we've got here is called a bat house. And I was lucky, Tyrone, my friend, you've seen him in some of the other videos, I was asking him if he wanted to make one. He goes, oh, I got one of those. So he found it. I just picked it up. So I've captured a couple of the bats, and it's broad daylight out, so I can't really set them free outside. So I'm going to try to get them, coax them into this. But oddly enough, this thing it only has mounts right here, which is really weird. So I'm going to make a little L bracket out of this lighting piece so that I can mount it. I don't really have a great place to put this. You're not supposed to put them near trees. They don't like tree branches. But I do have a tree that I recently had the top part taken off because it was falling, it was dead, and it was about to fall in the house. So I think I can mount this to that. So I'm gonna bend this. Let me get some hardware and get this thing ready. Then we're gonna go up a ladder and put a bat house in a tree and hopefully get some bats to go in it. All right, first, let's just make an L bracket out of this lamp hardware. I'm using rust reformer. I'm opening up these holes a bit, just so when I'm up on the ladder, it's easier to get these screws into it. Very easy. I got these 2 screws, so they're in. I should be able to just put this up against the tree and just shoot those in. All right, I'm using hammered paint on this just because it gives a bit of a thicker coat with a little bit more protection. All right, I walked around the yard to try to find a good place, and I don't really have an ideal spot because they don't like to be near tree branches because of predators, but I do have this tree here with no top and very few branches around it. I'm gonna mount it to that. I've got the corner bracket done and on it. I got 2 really long screws. So I'm not gonna carry the camera up the ladder with me because I gotta carry a drill in the box and some screws. I can just hope this will work. I don't know. In this box, I have 2 of the bats. I captured this morning. My goal is to coax these bats out of here in broad daylight into the bat box. So let's get to it. Nice. I can get them. All right, I successfully transplanted 2 into the bat house, the 2 that we caught early this morning. So hopefully they'll stay, and that'll be their new home. I don't know, probably not, but my hope is that's gonna be adequate enough that they'll stay out of my chimney until I can get that thing all sealed up. So what's going on, Mug? So we'll take it to the next steps in the next few days, which is removing the giant mirror on that's covering up where the chimney used to be, or the fireplace used to be, and then sealing the chimney up there, which is going to be great. All right, I'll talk to you soon. All right, so we're gonna do something that I've been wondering about since I bought this house. What's behind this mirror? This mirror is where the bats were coming out from. So it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're gonna lift the mirror off. We're gonna take it off and see if there's a fireplace back there that hasn't been sealed or what. So first thing we're gonna do is get it as bright as possible in here. So I don't have a lot of lights, but I have some.
Hello, everybody inside there.
All right, so Tyrone's here to help
Coming in,
lift this thing.
ready or not.
I suggested to him that he wear gloves, and he has said no. I will be wearing gloves.
African power, baby.
So first thing, let's take the tape off. I don't want to peel up my paint, but it probably will anyway. So far, so good. Not peeling the paint up at all.
Good paint.
I'm gonna peel up a little bit here, a little bit there. Oh shit, you found your first bat. All right, so we are, whoop. Shit. Wow. They're not moving, they look dead.
They did.
All right, so let me get some. So we already found like 6 bats came out.
Wow.
Unfortunately, you didn't catch this, but you probably caught Tyrone
Freaked me out
jumping
just
backwards. So it looks like my tape seal actually worked. Man, without gloves, I wouldn't touch it. You don't know what the bats are doing with that shit. Are any of them moving at all? Ugh, and they stink. Yeah, they're dead. All right, let me get something to pick up those bats.
Wow.
Shit. So here's the question, why are they dead? So my theory is that perhaps they got in because the cap on the chimney had a gap, and then in one of these storms, it settled itself back down. So
And they've all been stuck in there.
Yep, so they've all been stuck in there. Yeek, they stink.
That's what happens when the body decays.
Shit. Fuck, that stinks. Jesus. Alright, ready? You just gotta lift it. You see right here? Look right here.
I've got one here.
That's what we're up against. So I'm just gonna lift it. Okay. Oh, look at that. No wonder they were freaking in there. Who's in there? You got more in there? You got one.
I'm right there.
Oh, he's alive. This guy's alive. All right, we're gonna put him outside and try to get him to the bat house. All right. And now, give me a piece of blue tape. Let's seal this box up so he doesn't come out.
Try to seal it all up.
Just like that.
You're going to seal it all up?
Yeah. Before we do that, what I'm going to do, since I can't get in there and disinfect it or anything, and who knows how many dead bats or live bats are in there. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a little UV light in. Jesus. Yeah, we got to seal that up quick. It stinks. And I'm not going to turn it on until tonight after they leave through the chimney.
Let's get a piece of cardboard. You want a piece of cardboard we can put over there while I take it up?
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to put some tape on here to make sure this cable stays. And remember, I always tell you, oh, jeez. Oh. I gotta back up. The smell is too much. But I always say, if you see extension cords for $1, as Tyrone just saw me do this weekend, you know, at yard sales and stuff, snag them. All right, first, hold on, don't move that yet. I gotta make sure it's working. It's working. We got anything we can stuff in there?
Well, we can.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. All right, well, the good news is I put the light in there. I didn't see any. Oh my God.
Now just tape it up for now and then just leave it like this for quite a while.
All right, well, that was an adventure. We now know what's there. Jesus. I'm gonna light some candles in here.
The death of the bat.
All right, that's it for now. We'll be back.
See you later, bye.
Yeah. Just say there is anyway. All right, we're at the bat house. I'm gonna try to take the one live one we got and coax him up in there. Hopefully he just doesn't jump out, but I don't think in broad daylight he's inclined to do that. He's probably clinging, yeah, he's clinging to the box right now, which is good. That's exactly what I want him to do. All right, cling to the box. And now, can't really see.
Come on, little man, get up there.
Come on. Oh, come on. I'm gonna try to get you to come off of that and grab onto that. Turn around. Not my glove. Not my glove. Oh, go up there. It's dark up there. You'll like it. Boy, it was a lot easier getting the other guy to go up. He just climbed right up. Come on. Let go with the glove. I don't want to touch him because I don't want him to bite through this glove. If he can, I need something to pry him up. All right, so he'll eventually work his way up. He's looking right at us for some reason. He's upside down, but he's trying. It looks like he's trying to get up there, but he'll find his way in. All right, so
Hungry as hell.
yeah, so successfully transplanted 2 of the bats. The one live one we got out of the chimney. And I guess the next step, we're gonna have to seal up on the roof up there. So not really looking forward to doing that, but that's it for today. We'll be back. Okay, unfortunately, in our haste to cover up the smell, I forgot. What I've got is bats hate peppermint. They hate the smell of peppermint, so I have some pads and some liquid I'm going to throw in there to hopefully deter them and make them leave. As much as I hate opening this hole again. Well, these actually smell good. I'll keep these close when you open that thing. Let me click that on. Okay, put pads in. And I am not going to use this as a spray. I am just pouring that crap in there.
Smells pretty good now.
Now it smells like peppermint dead bat. All right. That blue light was on?
Huh?
Was the blue light on?
I thought it was. Uh-uh.
Why not? Plugged in.
I mean, it must be on straight.
Is it just so far down we can't see it?
Probably.
Yes, it's on. Okay. So I do know that works. All right, tape it up. All right, good times. So the report is the bat has now gone completely up into the bat house. So we saved that guy. We're sealed. All right, gives me an opportunity to paint that. You can see how ugly that color was when we bought the house. All right, we'll be back with the chimney step. I'll talk to you soon. All right, it's been about a week since we scared them all off with the peppermint and the UV light. We haven't heard a sound. We haven't had any indication that there's any still in there. So what I'm gonna do is, before I go in there and disturb them too much, I'm gonna go in there with this scope, which I generally use for automotive and stuff, but I'm gonna go in here before I remove this cap. And I'm gonna just make sure that there's none in there. So let me bring the camera over. Okay, I've got the scope on. So essentially all I'm gonna do is, I think this is about, yep, I'm gonna poke a hole, go in, and take a look. If I can get this Velcro to let go. Okay, I'm gonna straighten this out. We gotta go in a few feet straight. I've turned the UV light back on, so when we see that, we'll kind of know. You can see a little bit of the blue showing up. I'm sure you can kind of see that. I'm not seeing. Okay, now we're looking down the chimney there. It's kind of wavery. Boy, I wish I could get a great view of that. It's very hard to manipulate this thing at 3 feet out. But I lost it. No, there it is. There it is. So we're looking down the chimney right now. That's where they were. I don't see any. So I think we're good. There we go. So right there, we can see right down the chimney. There's no bats. Nothing. They're gone. All right. There we can see right here, again, is looking right down the chimney. It is a little hard for me to maneuver this thing, but we're pretty much good to take the cardboard off now. Hopefully it doesn't still stink. I don't think it does. But we're good to take this off. I'm gonna fill it with expanding foam. So let me get that and I'll be right back. Okay, I can smell the ozone coming out from the UV light. So I don't smell bats. I don't smell dead bodies either. So I'm gonna use this foam and fill. This is a large gap. This is a pretty big spot to fill. But I should be okay. All right, the UV light is out. Let me lower the camera. This is a big area. I don't have a lot of room. Used to fill, but now it's a little easier to get in there and look at it with this. We're good. Nothing there. It smells like minty ozone. So the bats are gone. Well, let's see how well this stuff will seal this. I have no idea. It's an awfully big area. There we go. All right. I think that'll expand over the next few minutes and completely seal it. And then I can paint, clean this up and paint it. Let me take this off and clean it out so I can use this again. All right, that's foam fill by Red Devil. It worked. I'm gonna go get some paint thinner and clean this thing up. That's how you clean this stuff up. All right, while that dries and slowly expands, I'm gonna take this opportunity to kind of clean this up, and then we're gonna paint it. Foam is starting to poke its way out a little bit more than I'd like, but I did put a lot in there, so I guess it's not that unexpected. But overall, I think we got the right amount. It's pretty close. And once it's fully dry, I'll sand up here because I wiped it down a little bit, but I can't really get too much of it. Okay, we'll start painting up here. Oh, I got a spot I gotta use some spackling on up top. I'll be right back. All right, this is fast dry, so I expect by the time I get set up to paint, I'll be ready to go. That's what I used. It's pretty good. This is an old thing of it, and it surprisingly, not dried out yet. But what I do is when I know I'm not gonna be using this stuff for a while, I'll actually put some water in the top of the can, and that actually worked here. I haven't touched this in over a year, and it's still good. So that's pretty remarkable for this type of spackling stuff. Well, as you can see, it has expanded a bit more than I actually wanted it to. Not duly expected, but... So what I'm gonna do is, and this is a total experiment, I'm gonna take some wax paper, which hopefully won't stick to it too much, and just kind of push it back in. I'd rather expand in the other direction, so maybe that should do it. Now I can kind of watch it. All right, so while that works its magic, I was able to actually find the paint that I originally used. I used it for several things. And fortunately, I always write down on a paint can what I used it on. So I wrote, I used it on this chimney. Paint should still be pretty good. I first applied it about a year ago, and I just shook it up extensively a week ago, so I'm thinking we'll probably be good to go. This is actually an unnecessary step, but I'm here, the mirror's off, why not do it? When that's dry, we'll be good to put the mirror on. Well, it's time to go up on the roof and seal this chimney. I've taken care of all the bats inside. You'll note I've got a long sleeve shirt on. It's Florida. We don't have a lot of shirts like this, but I've been up on that roof before. It's hot, and the shingles, you have to kind of crawl on the high part, so it'll rip your arms up. So I've got long sleeves on, and I've got to take a backpack with me. And I've got to bring a couple things. I'm gonna bring sealer, expanding foam. I'm gonna bring a long screwdriver. I'm gonna bring my little camera to see up around the edge to see if in case there are any bats there, and I'm gonna bring some rope. I'm bringing the rope because it's really hard getting up there. It's really hard getting down because I have to come down the one side where it's not really safe. None of it is safe. It's very steep, but regardless, I'm using the rope because I'll be able to tie the rope around the chimney and just kind of leave it there. And then next time I have to come up, I'll at least have something to kind of hold on to. All right, so to get up there, it's an interesting process. You had to get up on top of here, go up, crawl over the garage, go up over there, bring the ladder with you, and then that's how you get up there. So I'm gonna get to that, and I'll be back once I get up there. All right, the good news is I can see the top of the chimney from here, and it's solid. You can see how the thing even from here is a little crooked. Should have brought some paint for the top, but nothing I can do about that now. Okay, I'm up. I've got the rope tied around the chimney, and I'm going up. Gonna look under it with the camera and see any bats in there. It's a little tricky to do while holding the camera and looking at this thing. We'll try to do it. There's not much room under here for bats, but I'm going to pull this off because it's just making it more difficult. So far this side is clean. 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 Okay. Tricky. This piece here. Let's see. Like that. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, I don't know. Nothing. Nothing. Not much room here for them to get in. It's gotta be this far end. Alright, I'm gonna... Let's see, nice view of the street. Again, running the camera up under here. And it's clean. Nothing that I can see. Looks good. So this far side here, unfortunately the hardest part to get near is, well, wow, see, you can see it's loose. All right, so for this part it's very dangerous. I'm gonna put both cameras down. I'll be back. Broken. All right, it's a little sloppy, but it's still expanding. I've got it sealed. Kind of looks like frosting coming out from under there, but it's all sealed all the way around. The first can was bad, you'll note. There's puddles of it. It didn't shoot out of the nozzle, it only shot out of the can. So I don't know why that is. Maybe there's a reason. But I'm gonna head back. My gloves, I did finally bring a pair of gloves up on my second trip. and they're now as sticky as Spider-Man hands. And you may wonder why I'm up here doing that. Because I'm Batman. But I think we're pretty much done here. I'm gonna head back. These are junk. All right, that was a disappointing first can of that expanding foam crack sealer. The second can worked. I got it all sealed up. The first can made a mess. Second can kind of made a mess because it's a pretty big gap for that. Maybe I should have used the other stuff. I wanted to go with the white because the chimney cap is white, but in hindsight, that may not have been the best idea anyway because the other foam is better at expanding than this. But either way, it's done. Unfortunately, I had to make 2 trips to get the second can. On the second trip, I was able to bring a pair of gloves, and I was also able to test my safety rope, which is a big relief when you're climbing that roof. The roof is so steep, you can't put the backpack down. It'll just slide right off the shingles. So having something to hold on to is a big deal. So that's it for this step. I'll be back. Because it's quite heavy. It's got 2 hooks. I can get one on. Probably get the other one on. That's not working very well, is it? Alright. Get one on. Okay, so that closes out our weeks-long bat adventure. Throughout this process, I've consulted with a pest control specialist and got pointers and things on how best to approach it. In the end, he said basically he probably couldn't have done any better than what I did, and he probably would have done very similar steps. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy that we saved most of the bats. And as a bonus, we've now got a full colony living outside in the bat house. They're safe there. And it's Florida, so there's a lot of mosquitoes, so they're welcome to them. So if you've got a bat invasion, how you solve the problem is going to depend on the architecture of your house, where they're getting in and all that. With this house, a big house, the chimney all the way up there. In fact, my friend said there's no way he would have gone up there to seal the chimney. He would have just hired somebody else to do it. So I was able to do that myself. We were able to seal this intake. There's no other intakes that we haven't sealed. So even if more were to get in, I can't see how, but if they were, they don't have an outlet, so they'll probably just exit the same way they came in. Not much else I can say. It was an interesting adventure, that's for sure. We caught some, we chased some out. I know the cats will be disappointed because they're gone now. I'm sure they had a lot of fun catching them and chasing them, but I'm glad they're gone. But keep in mind, one thing about bats is they're not pests. They're extremely helpful to have outside your house. So treat them that way, treat them well. In a lot of states, they're actually a protected species, so you need to be very careful about that. So hey, as I always say, if you got a problem like this, don't be intimidated, address it, hit it head on, and just go out, get busy. Take care.